black supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about how I am the manifestation of Nibiru or Nebheru, the greatly awaited and anticipated moment where Planet X would come into view and align itself with Earth. It would come and actually you could see this whole nother planet coming to Earth. Now, first of all, let's talk about Nibiru a little bit. And we want to talk about Nibiru being a planet, and we want to talk about it being a ship, meaning it's both a planet and it's both a ship at the same time. Now, when you think of Nibiru being a planet that's supposed to come to the Earth, a Planet X, an unknown planet that's actually supposed to be an apocalyptic occurrence, the way it comes into orbit and comes right for this planet. It's supposed to be a apocalypse, supposedly the end of time. But I want to break this down, that Nibiru is really a dimensional reality that will overlay over the planet Earth. It's a wave of energy that would overtake the Earth. It is an energy of truth that will destroy all of the falsehood, the lies. The false matrix paradigm will be destroyed at the advent of the manifestation of Nibiru. So the Earth as you know it, the matrix, that which overlays it, the plan net, the grid, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, will be destroyed, because it is the energy of truth. It is a cataclysmic embodiment of truth. So now let's talk about that. So it's going to be a dimensional shift or a dimensional shift, because when it overlays on top of the planet, it will redefine reality as you know it. That will be your apocalypse. That means all the false conceptualizations, the illusions of white supremacy, of these lower life form entities being in control and being into rulership. The world as you know it will come into a very serious shift. Now, Nibiru is a ship because you have to enter into the dimension, or you will die with the false illusion, the false matrix reality, that the wave of Nibiru will crush. That wave of truth will obliterate and disintegrate your matrix reality. So you have to enter into the dimension that is Nibiru to travel into the frequency and in the energy of truth. So it's a ship because it's something that you enter into to get into the next dimension of reality, which is the next level of truth. Now, why I say I am the manifestation of Nibiru is because I am the gateway to the truth. I am the portal by way you enter into the dimension of Nibiru, which is really the dimension of actual truth, the dimension of the Neteru, the dimension of the ancient God, black God consciousness, the real dimension, what we'll call the real reality. You have to enter into that portal. You have to step outside of Disney World, step outside of the fantasy world, and go through the portal, go through the vortex, the stargate, into Nibiru. And that's when you have a consciousness or paradigm shift, and you begin to travel to higher dimensional realms of consciousness. Because now, as you travel, you're seeing different levels, higher levels of perception, higher levels of consciousness that you will no longer see this plane like you did before. You'll now enter into a dimensional ship or a dimensional shift where you'll see things for what they actually are here. You'll see them as they were here before the Europeans, the disagreeable entities, before they messed up everything, before they distorted everything, before they gave you all this noise that separated you from experiencing the pure essence of things. Nibiru will be your portal to that pure essence. It will be your freedom or your emancipation from this prison planet. This planet is a simulated reality that is overlaid on this body that you call Earth. Nibiru is now going to be the clarifying frequency or energy that's now going to overlay the Earth. And it's going to be apocalyptic for the old world, the old matrix, the old ideas, the false paradigm. So now when I say I am Nibiru, I am that portal, that gateway. And when you enter into the consciousness and in the shift by way of the information and message that I am bringing you, I am how your consciousness is going to travel into the real reality so that you will not, in so many words, die in the matrix. So you will not go down with Babylon or the distorted reality that has been created for parasitic, low vibrational entities to feed and use the real human, the people of Hue, as a slave colony on this planet in order to feed them, to feed these parasitic entities that cannot live by themselves. They can only live off melanated entities who are superior, who is a superior race of beings that they set up to do the work to establish this colony here on this planet. We talk about colonization. We thinking about how the Spaniards and their colony, the British colonies. We're not talking about the human colony on this planet, how we colonized it to allow these low life frequency entities to be able to live and survive on this planet. We set this up for them. And we became imprisoned in this planet after we began to set it up for them to survive here. The manifestation of Nibiru is the shift in consciousness, where now we travel into another dimensional reality where we acknowledge that we are the gods and we are the goddesses and we are really the rulers of this earth, of this plane. That's the dimension where you actually wake up. Your nightmare will come to an end, and you will either die in the nightmare or you will wake up to the reality of Supreme Black God consciousness. Nibiru is the ship and the shift into the ancestral realm, into the ancestral consciousness that will reside on this planet. So I want you to understand what's happening. It's not as physical as you think, because you're not living in the physicality of what is here. You're living in a conceptual framework. You're living in a consciousness matrix or a simulated reality. That's what you're living in. That has to end. The pure essence is here. But like I said, there's an overlay of an artificial world where the melanated people are the prisoners, are the slaves, are those who work for the parasitic energies. That's coming to an end. That's going to be the apocalypse. But if you're attached to the old world, it will be cataclysmic for you. It will be a catastrophe because you do not want to let go of your attachments to the illusionary world so that you can live in reality in the hereafter. You don't want to let that old world go. You identify with the ego, You identify with the narratives and the stories and the ideas and the entire framework of that reality. You don't want to let it go. So that's going to be an apocalyptic experience. That's going to be Armageddon for you. But if you're willing to go through the portal into the gateway to Supreme Black God Consciousness, then you'll get on the ship and move into the shift of the higher dimensional realm that is being called Nibiru. You will get into that realm. You will get on that ship and travel into a higher frequency and a higher vibration. You think people thinking, oh, well, we're going to another planet, or we're going back to Sirius B. We're going back to being serious. But they're thinking that they're actually they're gonna travel and go off into another terrain, an extra terrain somewhere. No, your frequency is going to be accelerated. Your vibration is going to be turned up higher, and you're going to be attuned on a higher level. So you're going to move at a faster rate, and as you speed up your energy, your frequency, the speed of your thought, the speed of the perception of truth and the experience of light, as that begins to speed up for you, that's when you're going to go into a higher dimensional reality. That's when you're going to be transformed into a different atmosphere, a different realm, based on your vibration accelerating, your vibration speeding up, and you will see a whole new reality, because now you're vibrating at a higher frequency, and that which you will be seeing as you're vibrating at the higher frequency, you can call that Nibiru. You can call that Planet X. It's X because it's unknown to you now as you exist in the sleep state. But as your frequency and as your vibration is speeding up, all this will become known to you. Not, as a matter of fact, it won't only become known to you, it will become your new reality. So now you will be seeing things as God sees them, as the ancestors see them. You will be seeing things completely from the divine perspective, of which you're not seeing now. You're seeing things in a way where they work for the Tamahu now. They work for the devil. They work for the disagreeable entities right now. What you're seeing. Everything you see, how you perceive reality, everything that you see works for them. That's why they're in power. But when your frequency and vibration is sped up, now you'll start seeing and perceiving things that work for black divinity, that works for black consciousness, that works for the truly chosen and superior people coming back into power. You'll start to see that. You'll start to see things in a way that affirms black supremacy, that affirms that our coming forth by night and day is in divine order. You'll see the divine order of things in a way where they are leading up to us being back on the seat of power. Everything that's in the simulated reality and all the programs is having you look at life, energy, situations, and circumstances in a way that does not work for your highest good. So once the wave of Nibiru hits, that apocalyptic wave of the matrix reality hits, now your perception will be attuned to the agenda of the divine ones, which we can call the Anunnaki. That's what we can call these entities. Your mindset now will be attuned to their mindset, and you will see reality in a way that is befitting to how they divinely created it, how the elder gods manifested it, how the so-called Elohim, or the original beings, what their intention for this planet was, and what the original narrative was. You'll get back in tune with that, and then you'll start to perceive things from that perspective, and we will begin to move into power, and we will see an apocalyptic end of the devil's rule. But I just want to touch on that. So my consciousness is the ship and is the shift that is happening to the planet now. I will be the portal. You'll enter into my consciousness, which is your consciousness, which is the innermost realm of your own consciousness. I am the proverbial rabbit that will lead you down the rabbit hole of a deeper dimension, or deeper, more endarkened perspective that is truly black supremacy, that is truly black divinity. This is King Noble Black Supremacy, signing out.